find ourselves in, yeah, decent spot, I feel, at the moment, balancing all of our various abilities to decent avail here. In fact, I'm pretty happy to call in another summon. So, my instincts are telling me not to like it when Cacodemon shows up. Is that founded at all? I mean, like, Energy Bolt is pretty solid. Malmutate, actually pretty good, I guess, especially against high AC enemies where you just need that little defense reduction on their part. But definitely not too much damage. 22 damage. It's interesting. I mean, they're probably in the Greater Demon Camp for a reason. Far be it for me to make bold claims with absolutely no facts to back them up. But interesting still, I would say. And you know what? I think this is a good time to phone another friend here. We'll bring out the Box of Beasts. I'll actually focus on the Dire Elephant and kind of let my friends hold the doorway as much as they possibly can. Beautiful. And then maybe I go for the Invoker, maybe with the assistance of some lightning, if at all possible. Don't have a lot more to do here. Could use Quicksilver, but would prefer not to. I guess I could just see Paralyzes at 54. That's a decent chance. And we do get it first try, so perfect strategy, of course. And we can summon in another Greater Demon. We do get Cacodemon again, which, boo, but maybe if I keep telling myself that I must be wrong, there must be a reason, there must be a purpose. But we're gonna blast mode. I'm gonna get hit by my own blast here. Hopefully it doesn't kill me. Didn't kill me. Almost. And I could still get struck by lightning, which even with my resistance could kill me. But it doesn't. Hell yeah. Okay, so you know when just a few moments ago I was making bold claims about how this was one of the few runs where we weren't just getting lucky on a final coin flip that we probably deserved to lose? Well, that's changed as of that last encounter, but hey, still not too horrible, all things considered. And it's a good learning lesson here. Oh, I did not expect to immediately run into friends coming down that stairwell. Well, that's interesting. Maybe this time we'll just do a couple of minor demons. Again, more focused on the distraction play here than anything else. I guess I could read like a scroll of summoning potentially. I could just read a teleport scroll again, hoping to land somewhere relatively okay. Or not, or I'll just back off. And we'll see where the chips land, shall we? Specifically, I can bring you back into the mix. And if you just last long enough for my teleport to get off, perfect. And just how we drew it up, besides just how many new enemies we find here. Why, hello there. I feel like I'm making all the noise in the world all the time. I guess we do have really high noise, but that's probably just the shouting, right? Well, I'm doing something wrong here, most likely. If I can just find myself an open stairwell, in fact, maybe what we'll do, we'll just read another teleport. I will hit my guardian golem. Sorry, buddy. Cactus Giant as well joins the slew of collateral damage here. Oh my gosh, and we get ignition. Holy moly. Okay, well that potentially changes things. We don't have great single target, but our AoE is off the charts here. I guess single target, we have our summons, and enough distractions pretty much guarantees that we can deal with a single enemy. I'll definitely need some training to get that ignition up and running here, so let's do that right away. Spellcasting right back into the mix, please and thank you. And onwards we go. What I'm hoping for, what I'm looking for here is a stairwell leading upstairs. Because with that, we can start engaging in the who cares, just make infinite noise strategies that we've seen work out pretty well for us in the past here. If you could not merge, that would be great. Perfect. And with that, we can swap over with our cactus, let them start taking the brunt, especially of that frost heart. And with that, we kind of actually stabilize for the moment. What are your chances of marking? 16% is definitely higher than I would like, but not terrible. Not the end of the world. Definitely something we can manage with at the moment here. Let's get that mouse out of there. But yes, if I can find it upstairs, then we can kind of just plant ourselves on it and start launching infinite balls of chain lightning. Not so much that stairwell we just passed, because it's a little bit too cramped for my tastes, but we can just find our third stairwell between floors. Maybe, just maybe, that will be what we need to get things going here. Who keeps dispelling my stuff? Do wizards have abjuration? Maybe wizards have abjuration. Oh, I should also take note that I am marked, of course. Do you? No, just banishment. Okay, I guess you're banishing my friends. Still rude. Just as bad, if not worse, than abjuration, really, at the end of the day. I'm being completely honest with you, my wizard pal. Okay, so this definitely starting to become a little bit overwhelming. And that mark is a wee bit of an issue, to say the least. But there we go. We step out. Mark's trap's still active, so we might have to do a similar strategy right away here. If only ignition was online, we would have just annihilated through everything that we're dealing with right now, but ifs and buts and all of that, so let's instead just summon a greater servant, please and thank you. And then, while we're at it, what is our best play against all these sons of guns? Maybe a secondary servant. Executioner is wonderful, for sure. And is there a spell that I should actually be using here? I feel like it's been a little while since we did this back to basics, take a peek at what we're working with. Conjure Ball Lightning is still my best AoE that I have available, but unfortunately is probably going to annihilate the majority of our friends while it's at it, so maybe not the best move. Alistair's Intoxication, turning the air into... I don't think it's poison even, right? It's like confusion juice, as the kids call it. Oh, no, just straight into alcohol, actually. How about that? Caster will experience vertigo. I can't imagine this works out too well for us, right? But I've also never really cast Alistair's Intoxication. Oops, as I accidentally take a step instead of doing so, my bad. Well, there are a lot of pseudo-intelligent enemies. Oh, the dire elephants aren't going to care, though. I don't like that. The dire elephants are a huge part of the ever-present problem here. Only 10% chance to paralyze them, of course. That willpower looking way too good for that to really do any work. Maybe it's time to just enact Civil War Protocol, and we phone some more friends. And I'm tempted not even to help. I'm tempted just to watch what happens, because I believe our forces are going to be doing all right for themselves. Fortunately, that mark trap is still kind of on the tail end. It's no longer actively affecting us, but it seems like a lot of enemies are still coming towards the last known location. In fact, maybe too many enemies now that I look at it. Oh gosh. You know what? It was an attempt to hold our ground here, but we're just gonna let that teleport take place, please and thank you. Now, where the heck were we? That was our last teleport spot. This is where we were. So let's try not to immediately throw ourselves back into the fire, shall we? Can rest up and heal at the very least, and then hopefully our enemies have also kind of scattered to the winds, just a smidge. Fortunately, it doesn't seem quite as prevalent of a fact as I was imagining, but hey. Still not the end of the world. This is way more manageable than it was moments ago, and if we just team up by our powers combined, I'm sure we'll come out the other side in one piece. Beautiful. Might stay until 2 AM to watch Kamikaze Canadian. Oh, don't you know it. But hey, Captain Bugswash, how's it going? I hope things are going well on your side of the ocean, of course. Thanks for dropping by, even though it's, yeah, ridiculously late on your end, friend. Yes, good morning indeed. Okie dokie. Hopefully, those series of mark traps kind of took care of most of our issues before they happened here, and the majority of our friends have already made their way into a ceremonious death at our hands, but we'll see right away here, I guess, especially as I get hit by another mark trap, and we can see just how many folks are going to make the pilgrimage over to Ifrit here. Oh, jeez Louise. And just need to check in. As I keep receiving some work emails, make sure that everything's not on fire, much as it is in the game here, because that's definitely how it's been so far this weekend. But fortunately, it seems like mine is mostly taken care of, so we should be able to finish this stream in normal fashion. I was very concerned that we would have to drop out in the middle as I get called in for an emergency, but no dice, so we'll see how far along we can get here. I'm hoping potentially even to wrap up on Ifrit here, though kind of flip-flop on that. It's definitely been a slower run so far than I expected, but once Ignition gets online, does that mean things start to really get rolling? Maybe? On the other hand, now that's a jewelry shop. Regen amulet that gives int and slain. Beautiful. A ring that gives 2 pips of cold resistance. Fly that's useless, but evocable blink. Now that is wonderful. And I'm short 95 gold to get both. Well, I think the cold resistance ring is the one that can wait. I will grab the amulet right away because it is just a better version of what we're already wearing. And with that, maybe we can get back on the road here. Ignition's still at 54% failure, so not ideal by any stretch. But it's coming down. Dragon form at 9%. So dragon form. Brings us up to a nice 249 health. Love that. Resistances, we're at least not vulnerable to anything. Still have half decent willpower. This actually isn't horrible. The main issue I see is 16 armor class, 9 evasion, 0 shielding. Not great, for sure. A lot of health to work with in regards to just blast cast everything around us. But we may not quite be ready for the dragon form dream here. Let's head down in just boring old skin suit, which I guess is not super accurate for a Djinni. Is a Djinni made out of pure energy? Divine powers, maybe? I don't know my Djinn lore well enough to actually have a good grasp. There we go. We let our cactus friend take care of the last little bit. Djinni or Djinn lore, I mean, same thing depending on where you are, but it's something that, again, I don't know a lot about, but does interest me for sure. I think it's a very cool mythology. And in general, mythologies have always been a draw to me. Like, I absolutely adore both Greek and Roman mythology as well as Norse. And that's something that I wish that I'd taken like more classes in uni for. My partner took quite a few, and so I get to share vicariously, but yeah, they know way more about the mythos than I do, and I just enjoy getting the tidbits kind of drip fed to me over time. Always super fun stuff, especially since it's like anything you could possibly imagine, or like what's the wildest thing that could possibly be done with this story. Mythology will surprise you, and it will always be way more insane than you possibly could have thought of on your end, as well as like way darker and more cruel. It's an interesting mix, to say the least. But yeah, maybe I'll have to do some research rather into Djinn, because I feel like most of what I think I know kind of falls under the camp of it was used in fantasy, and I don't actually have any indication as to how well researched the fantasy writer was, but usually, you know, it's a nice easy shortcut, especially when you're creating entire worlds, to like expand on existing mythology. The best way that I've seen it done is in the web serial Pact, because in that case you get it's like very explicitly part of the lore that everything exists in its like known lore form, if that makes sense. Which I'm sure doesn't make a lot of sense, but hopefully some tiny semblance of such. Because I'm definitely not doing a great job of selling what is otherwise such a fantastic series that I would highly recommend to anyone, especially those who are in a similar boat of enjoying that aspect of storytelling. But okay, this son of a gun is starting to look a little bit sketchy. Specifically, it's Iron Shot that they have, right? I know it's just looking at it, and I should have the object permanence of like at least a 10-year-old, but probably better than that. But you can hit for up to 59 damage with your weapon, or deal ridiculous sums with Iron Shot. And with haste, why not both? Only 3% chance of paralyzing you. Yuck. And this is where we're kind of screwed over by the fog clouds created by the thieving cloak. Because I'd like to just blink out of here, but again, unfortunately, don't have the range for it. Iron Shot, I guess, is relatively low range, so I could just blink to the other side, bring in summons, and hope that that was enough to kind of keep a bit of interstitial distance between us and our inevitable demise. But No promises, of course. Okay, so yes, I'm not in range this turn. They could take a step and iron shot me, but that would be rude. So I'm sure they would never. Oh, Dream Sheep suddenly make an appearance is not great, so I think we'll read a teleport right away. I'm actually going to walk closer to these buddies, if just to get further away from the champion, and perfect. We, for the moment, live to see another day. Very much was relying on our damage output there. Unfortunately, we were able to take out that son of a gun before the convocation popped off. Love that. Tropa darts, probably not going to be useful for us in the near future here. And I kind of want, yeah, my cactus I feel like does pretty much just me but better when it comes to melee combat, so more than happy to let you take the reins on that one, King. Go off and all of that good stuff. Thank you, thank you.